Hello, Lisa here, interdimensional 5D. If you go to sleep at night and wake up and feel like you've done something, more than likely you have. We consider this that you work for the army of the Lord or you work for the army of the bad guys. Either way, I'm speaking to you. These theorems are based on Dolores Cannon's work, reading the Bible, and my own personal experiences. Now, based on my own personal experience, Spirit has asked me to come out and share my story. And there's more than one reason why. But one of the reasons why is that nobody's really talking about the dream time, and it is very effective for fighting certain energies, and it can be misunderstood as schizophrenia. Now, I'm wearing the blue wig today because Spirits told me, well, there's stuff going on. They know who you are now. Um, there are people, and I'm going to show you some cards today, trying to cut an empress who is a real high priestess out of a situation and not to be heard. They want to cut her. They want to cut her in more ways than one. They want to cut her out of an inheritance. They want to cut her out of the real world to not speak this talk, and they want to kind of end her just to end her, as part of a snuff movie thing. But, you do not yield. Do not yield. We are not yielding. Or they are not yielding. Refusal to surrender, even in extreme adversity. So, if you find yourself in extreme adversity, more than likely there's a reason why you're being attacked by demons and devils to keep you from your objective. When you go through really, really harsh, brutal stuff and it creates an awakening, and then you find you're attacked, it's because you have a plan. God has a plan for you. Okay, where he works with some of the most craziest miscreants you could possibly imagine. Read your Bible, the stories are there. And with that being said, some of the effects of witchcraft and warlockery that once you awaken, the interesting part of awakening is it's like it opens a book. It's like peeling an onion, as it were. It's got layers and levels, and as you progress through adversity and or life experiences, you become more and more aware and awakening, and awakening, and there's an awakening and awakening and awakening. And when you get to the part where you do feel like, oh my God, I was up in a spaceship monitoring screens all night. Maybe you were. Or I was up there taking care of babies. Maybe you were. Or I was up there in a spaceship fighting. Maybe you were. Okay, so like when you get to that point, you're a high level soul, you're an old soul, and you're gonna go on to your next journey is out there doing stuff in space. That's my opinion. I think I'm entitled to that. Anyway, that's what they tell me. And when you get to this part of the dream time, you and you get when you start seeing images and remembering things about spaceships and what you were doing, slowly but surely, you start seeing things move around. You start seeing your other entities walking with you, as it were. And then it kind of emulates I'm hearing voices when you do your sonic resonancing. So, this is what we're going to talk about today. But first, I'm going to share experience with you because they want me to share experiences. Now, the other cards they had me pull was there's an incoming message, and it could be this message, but we're going to talk about crown downloads, and you might be having a crown download tonight. And the card says they're trying to tell you something, and you are a star seed. If you listen to me, you are a star seed. You're a descendant of the stars. Know this to be true. Especially if hanging in there and listen to the whole thing. You most certainly are a star seed. And the word for today is dichotomy. Okay? Now, I stopped wearing the blue wig for a little bit because Spirit said, be authentic, be your authentic self. There are several people out there pretending to be me. Some of them wear the blue wig. They wanted the blue wig today because they think the message about me and my graphic novel Demon Slayer is funny. So, and also, I've been fighting and I look extraordinarily tired today, okay? It's been a hellacious few nights. So, with that being said, Demon Slayer. Um, this is so funny. So, when you slay demons, and they tell me I've slayed 17, and after yesterday, this makes 18. So, if I had a belt and notched it, I could put 18 notches on it. But this is what I saw, and it wasn't in the dream time. Like I'm sitting here on my computer doing stuff, and all of a sudden I stand up, and there's this entity, right? And they look like angels. Demons will look like angels. Now look at this guy. He came out with his white wings. He had the blonde, white hair. It was golden. These are quick sketches on my part. These are not the sketches that will go in my graphic novel. I just did a quick sketch so you guys would see. You know, they come at you looking like angels, right? It's in the Bible. Preachers talk about it. Satan will come at you looking like a fucking angel. Excuse me for saying the F word on that, but it's true. Now, here's what happens in that. Okay, angel, light. Well, they come at you as an angel because they think you're stupid and you won't attack an angel. So, here's what you do. Okay? So, if you have your crown chakra and you know the crowns come down on your head, which you would have seen it in a dream, they will let you know you've gotten your crown chakra, okay? And when you get that, there's a thing that comes out of the spaceship that will attach into your crown chakra thing in the 5th dimension, and they download memories for you. And when we get to this point, we will awaken to past life memories. And you'll remember who you were and who you were to who. And then a lot of times then we meet quantumly people that we had past lives with. Sometimes they're friends and sometimes they're enemies. And so we go through the battle again, okay? Because evidently there's something there, more than likely, if you're aware, that they didn't learn. And you're here to teach them, no, 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 we're not doing this again. You're done, okay? Old souls teach the others. And sometimes we have to face adversity ourselves to help us learn the discernment. And with that discernment, it teaches us how to winnow out karmic behavior from our lives because we're changing patterns and we're self actualizing so that we're independent beings and we can operate independently and thereby be more efficient, okay? Because we're already placed in God's realm. We have his energy, we have his power, and we can operate efficiently with discernment, okay? So, no, and here's the other thing. So you got your crown chakra, right? When you know you have that lotus on there, you're a lotus bomb. When you hear the tarot readers say you're a lotus bomb, you are a lotus bomb. Know this, that you can call judgment. When your heart has been weighed by thought and you have your lotus bomb, and you can call judgment on people who have fucked you over in your life. Know this to be true. I didn't know that for a very long time, or I would have done it a long time ago. And once you call judgment on people, things will start shifting and turning more to your favor. So you are empowered. Now, what I did with that angel as it came at me, they don't think you're going to attack an angel. Well, here's what happened. I took my lotus bomb and boom, I hit it, right? You can direct it like an energy weapon. And yes, I do use this configuration with my hands. Boom, boom, boom. Now, if you hit an angel, okay, just know this. If you think something's going to hurt you, go ahead and hit it. Because if it's a good guy, your energy is like powering them up. It's like a tickle, and the angels will go, ha ha ha, oh, thank you so much. We enjoyed that. But the bad guys are going to get hit, okay? So it harms the bad guys, but it won't hurt a good guy. And a lot of times, if people are looking for extra blessings, you don't know if they're good or bad guys. You're giving them a blessing when you hit them with your energy. This is how they explain it to me. So you don't ever have to worry about, boom, who you're booming, okay? Because good guys get the power, bad guys get pain. So I hit this angel. Boom, 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 boom. It took a lot of hits. Hey, they thought they were a big, significant magician. Magicians and warlockery have no significant power over earth angels put here by God. Just know this to be true. Okay, no matter where you are in life, whether you're rich or poor, skinny or fat, if you're working for the army of the Lord, you have way more powers than a witchcraft or warlock. Okay, and a lot of it has to do with your visualization. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge, and it is. Your imagination is what propels you and gives you power in the dream time in specific. Okay, so I boomed this angel. And then finally it turned into this guy, this regular guy, in an orb, like he had put himself into an energetic space of protection. Okay? Which is a smart thing. And I boomed him in his energetic space. And eventually the orb disappeared and he turned into a black and white character. I say, and I KO'd him. For me, when I see them turn into black and white, I know they're done. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're dead, but their spirit energy is done. They're black and white. They have no more energy. When you see the colors and the colorfulness of them, they have power. A rainbow power, okay? But once you take away and you see them in black and white, they're done. Their energy's been depleted. Okay, and if you really know what you're doing, you suck in all that energy. You pull it out. You pulling it, and you're garnering their energy because they're stupid. Okay, know this to be true, people. Anyway, there it is. That was my fight, my battle with the demon, and the funny part for the people in my crew who know this particular person, it's the demon known as Cheerio Dick. So that's an episode in my story. Okay, now, dichotomy. Now let's talk about schizophrenia. Because this is serious. The dream time is serious. Don't go in there and play around. It's very, very dangerous. When the tarot readers say be wary and mindful of dream time loop, they're right. People try to energy exchange. People try to pretend that they're other people, which can confuse others. People will try to hold you back, hold you down, make you believe you're paranoid. They'll remember Barack Obama talked about mentally controlling human beings. They do have energetic weapons, people. Some people, we found out last night, had energetic weapons to heal and rebuild themselves from the antagonistic aliens. Okay? Those were taken away from certain people on this planet. Now, energy, schizophrenia. I am not a doctor, okay? I have no degrees whatsoever. I walked away from the Kansas City Art Institute because I felt like it was an immoral space and I was being treated unfairly, unkindly, and I was pushed out on purpose, which insults me because I chose that school to follow a sibling, and I was accepted by the Rhode Island School of Design, Chicago Art Institute, and Carnegie Mellon. I could have had full scholarships for. So it insults me the way the Kansas City Art Institute treated me, and I'm out here saying this because, I don't fucking care what you think. Anyway, that's not neither here nor there. I'm not degreed. I don't have no doctorate. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist, although they tell me that in my past lives out in space, I'm very educated in psychology. And if you look at my children, you can see that I am. I listen to people, and a lot of times people will come up to me and tell me their whole fucking life story, walk away, and Spirit says, you gave them the answer whilst they were talking. They didn't need to hear anything from you. Oh, okay. And that's cool. And that happens sometimes, people, especially people of light. A lot of us travel around the country. It's called grid work. When you find that you move from here to hither and yon, you're changing energy wherever you go. So a lot of us have a lot of different aspects. Now let's stick to the dream time and schizophrenia. So if you feel like you need professional help, please don't hesitate to go to a psychiatrist. I've been to many because I have two ex-husbands who like to point out they think I'm crazy. Yeah, I wear a blue wig. I think it's very creative. My spirit team loves it. I love putting this wig on. It makes the real me kind of come out. Now, because basically I'm kind of an introvert. I'm a hermit. I don't like the world. I don't pay attention to news or the media, and the only way I speak about things is because spirit tells me to. Anyway, dream time, schizophrenia. Okay, so go to a professional if you think you need it. Now, Mr. Robert Williams, I'm a medium, and I channel dead people. Mr. Robert Williams came and told me, he did cocaine in a way because he didn't want to go to sleep. Well, Victor Radcliffe and I go through experiences, and we totally can relate to that. Here's some of the things we see, okay? And I'm not alone in this. And Spirit has decided, a lot of you who reach this level, they're going to bring you in somebody that you can talk to, who said, oh, I can totally identify with that, blah, 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 blah. And then you have a Dreamtime buddy, okay? Because so many of you high-end acting people, you get hooked up with karmics to ruin your life, or a lot of the young ones, the new ones, are being killed by certain people, and some of them are being forced to commit suicide through the Dreamtime energy manipulation stuff. And Spirit's like, no, 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 no. We don't want any more of our chosen killed, okay? We're working from the inside out. We're going to get these MOs, MFers, okay? Enough people have committed suicide that Spirit's like, it has to stop. So here's how you know, okay? Because really, the Dreamtime emulates schizophrenia, and that's why I'm talking about. Because you think you're hearing voices, you can see things moving around, because you're seeing the fifth dimensional entities, and sometimes some of us see more than five dimensions. There's more than the fifth dimension, okay? And then if you have a lot of the clairs, I myself personally can smell. Like when somebody's in my space and they smell like cigarettes, I know who the few of them are. And then sometimes people come in, they smell like dirt, and you hear crickets or wind or rain. You can hear this stuff. Now, when you do your sonic resonancing, you'll be amazed at what you can hear. So in other words, I'm not just hearing voices. I hear telephone ringings, and then I hear a conversation, because everything is being shot through those cell towers. It's out there, people, for us to hear. When I hear the guys in the spaceship, and they talk to me, it's it's like talking to somebody who's on a microphone. So that's why I use the pendulum at times to discern. And make sure, who am I talking to? Because Michael, the people who are the bad guys can emulate God. They can emulate the angels. And when they do that, you have to call judgment on them. If you know who they are, and a lot of times we know who we're talking to, call judgment on them. Okay? You have that right. If you've got the crown and your heart's been weighed by thought and you've seen that in the dream time, you have the right to call judgment. Know this to be true. Okay, so like what else did I forget or didn't say? Oh, one of the things is so Mr. Robert Williams did a lot of cocaine. He didn't want to see things. So me and Victor Radcliffe saw something last night. I'm going to explain to you what we saw. It's distressing. Um, we saw a woman in like a light pale grayish blue negligee that had it came up to where your crotch would be, and then it had pieces of fabric, long pieces of fabric dangling from it. Very pretty. And all of a sudden, the man hit the woman in the head and then started tying her up with the loose, long, drapey things of her negligee. They tied her legs and they tied her arms and they just wrapped it around her and then they tasered her. And we watched her legs do this from the taser, and I stopped watching at this point, but Victor watched the rest, and I asked I asked Victor, do people have sex and taser? He said yes. Do they like it? And he said some people do, yes. He said, but Lisa, this is not that. Oh, okay, this is like they're murdering this woman. So we're connected telepathically through an agent's person, and they were watching. There's a whole bunch of us watching. It was really interesting. So if you see that kind of stuff, ask out there, is there a law enforcement person I can hook up with and tell them? And a lot of times your angels will give you streets and where it is, what state, and what's happening. Like in Rochester, New York, there's a nurse stealing premature babies. So if you have these abilities, you can be helpful in your community or in the community around the world. So it's really important the discernment between having schizophrenia is if you ask, am I schizophrenic? The answer probably is no, because a real schizophrenic won't ask that question. Okay? Now, here's what they say to do if you have too much of it. Ask Spirit to close you off at the dream time and get into the real world. Do a painting, write a story, go out to eat with friends, go see a movie. Even if you are a hermit like me, go alone. I do stuff alone. Go down to the lake, go down to the shore, go into the ocean, talk to ocean, ask her to take the memories away. Go sit by a tree, walking in nature, okay? Ground. And also, if you smoke a lot of pot or eat a lot of gummies, back off of that for a little bit, okay? It does help resist witchcraft, but it can persist in the schizophrenic type of um, activity. And you want to know that you can ground, okay? You need to put 5D in its place. And when the tarot reader tells you and the card comes up, be careful the dreamtime loop, it means you're in too far, okay? You need to back off a little bit. Everything in moderation, balance for all things, okay? That's really important. Balance, balance, balance. Um, so anyway, Mr. Robert Williams, he did cocaine, didn't want to go to sleep, didn't want to see the images, and didn't really have anybody to talk to, and thought he was fucking crazy, but he wasn't. He was just like they wanted to work with him, but there wasn't anybody there to really guide him and tell him that he wasn't crazy. So people took advantage of him, and when you're in this place, a lot of that energy manipulation developed by Barack Obama is to keep people like us down and quiet. And that's why my channel is repressed. And I intend to, at some point, write a manual about how to operate in 5D. Okay? And so this is my theorems and development of that whole thing. And I'm starting from the ground up because nobody else is doing it. Okay? There's a lot of people who get treated for schizophrenia who shouldn't be. And then there's a lot of people with schizophrenia who, maybe you'd utilize this as a way to get around it. But it's like, no, you'd know the difference. A real professional would know the difference. I've gone and talked to many people, and I've never been told I'm crazy. Like some people, like my sister, who's stolen my identity. I haven't stolen her identity. So who's really crazy? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's all I have to say. I want to tell you about the Demon Slayer. Um, I'm going to turn that graphic novel into some of these experiences I have had in the 5D experiences, because it's very visual, it's very animated, it's very colorful, and it certainly is interesting. And we do kill demons, okay? And I enjoy it. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. I had to make this 2 times because I forgot to say, back off of smoking weed, back off of the weed for a little bit. It won't hurt you. And anyway, when you do smoke weed and you do it pretty regular, it's good to take a break, a month, maybe a year. I've gone 10 years without doing it and stuff like that, on and off, but, leave it to your body. And there we go. Now, the last thing I want to share is they wanted me to pull the Crystal Mandela today. That's a star sapphire. And I'm going to read it to you. It is Ascended Master El Moria and Blue Star Sapphire. Higher Will. I surrender into the purpose I was born to fulfill. I embrace my delicious divine destiny. I allow spiritual inspiration to flow through my heart and align me with the higher plan for my soul. The universe is guiding me with goodwill and positive affirmation, encouraging me to believe in myself and grow. The universe knows what I need to fulfill my purpose and provides with kindness and enthusiasm. I trust the universe and myself as I faithfully create my beautiful life path one step at a time. And if you've been through crap like me, make a list. You have to check stuff off, go one at a time, and you'll get there. You'll get there. Okay? It just takes time. Takes time, believe in yourself. Just go one by one. Ask God for what you need. Talk to your angels. Laugh with them. They're hilarious. We were laughing about something last night. Oh yeah, there's that guy. We were laughing about Jake Gyllenhaal, and I said I'd pay $1,000 to meet him in the ring. Oh God, we had this whole conversation, and Michael, my angel, and who was the other one I was laughing about? Oh, Michael and Bruce Lee. I said, "Do you think I could take him if we're there?" They said, and then Seth Noah and Ureli were like, "Don't worry, if those guys don't do it, we'll cream him." So when I go, and if this happens, I won't be alone. It'll look like I'm alone, but I won't be alone, and I just can't wait to see that experience. Anyway, know that your team is there. If you don't talk to them about people and make fun of people in the dream time, then you need to step it up, because it's fun. Peace out, everybody. Remember, I think you're amazing. Thank you so much for listening. If you do, I don't say this often enough, but I do appreciate you. I know there's more of 9 of you out there, but eventually somebody's finger will come off the button. And we might even chop it off at night. You never know. Peace out, everybody. Remember, I think you're amazing, and I absolutely love you. Bye now.